Hey, Tarada, how you doing? I've got your work up. Thank you very much for your submission. I want to get started, and I think well, this is good. We can see what's going on here. I try to keep, whoops. I try to keep the window manageable. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so we've got our first piece, excuse me, 5 design applications, collateral design. I think the front of this postcard looks fantastic, just fantastic. It's gorgeous. A couple of suggestions here, though. I think that what we need to do is we need to give a little more information on the front of the card. Now, it's smart to pique the viewer's interest in a mailer like this, but at this point, I just don't see that there's enough information here because, you know, there's a lot of people who are interested in growing or interested in microgreens, but not interested in growing their own vegetables. So that said, I think it would be really important to let the viewer know that this is microgreens on the front so that they're not just going to go, oh yeah, I don't garden and throw it away. Growing microgreens is something totally different. It's actually very cool. So so the thing I would do here is I would say take this guy right here, this 100% premium organic quality. Let's save that badge right there for the mailing side. And let's use that area. What I would like you to do is create a white version of the logo. And let's put it right down there. That way we can see grow your own. We can see vegetables. We see tiny garden. That right there is enough to pique the interest to turn the mailer over to check out the call for action and the information. So that would be my recommendation to pique the interest in the front. In the back, you got some alignment issues. And one of the things I would recommend here is this was very, very smart. The only situation would have been even better is to somehow duplicate this image and use the masked image on the white and the backside. But since you can't do that with this image, it's too difficult to work with. This is just fine. I think the continuation comes from the carrots. So that's fantastic. What I would do is this. I would say right now we're kind of losing a little bit of area for the mailing. So what I would do is this. Let's do this. Let's take this section right here, bottom of and let's save that for the mailing list. Let's take that right there, that mailer, and put it right down there. Okay, that'll give you the whole top of the card, just about that big. It doesn't have to be any bigger than that. Sure, right there. Okay, then let's take the top of the card. Logo. All right, then the problem that I'm having is that your logo is not necessarily center aligned. It's kind of technically built like it's center aligned, but then you have the mark on the left, which kind of pulls the weight to the left. So it's not really center aligned, but we can accommodate for that by left aligning everything else. Let's do this. Let's pull this logo over a little bit. Then we can left align the come get. Left align, don't center align, because right now you've got left align here. You've got this logo, which is basically left, and then you have this center align. So there's some inconsistencies there. So what I would like to do is get that whole composition right there left aligned and placed up top right there. Got the address right there, so you're good to go. Excellent. Okay, this piece, I think we've got some really good things going on. This was very smart. This continuation from the front cover, those masked roses to the CD itself, very, very, very smart. Good, great continuation. I see you've shot this already, which means you're probably not open to change, but what I would recommend, if you were, is this. See that background right there? It's really, really distracting. I would definitely reduce the opacity way back on that. It's so, the opacity is so commanding right now that you actually have to use these white boxes to place your type. And I think that's way too distracting. It creates too many visual stops, and you shouldn't have to have a white box behind your text. If you have a white box behind your text, excuse me, If you have to put a box behind your text, it's a good indication that your background might be too busy. Keep that in mind. Always something to keep in mind. Okay, got some low resolution images here. Got some issues. That rose is a low res image. We can clearly see it here. It might be a PDF rendering, but as compared to this, which is crystal clear, this is really pixelated. Got to change that image out. Same thing here. That's a low res image right there, clearly. That's a low-res image, so that's going to have to be changed out too. So the roses and the guys are definitely looking like they are low-res images. Okay, poster looks good. One thing I noticed, a little inconsistency here in your work. If we zoom in to this guy right here, okay, take a look at the front cover, then look at the poster. The poster has added this distress on the side here, these distressed pen strokes or ink blots. So what that is doing is it's actually creating some inconsistency, because since it's used on the poster and not on the CD. Okay, let's move forward. Little Mermaid, I think, looks really good. Interesting typeface, very interesting typeface. I like it. I think the cover is done very well. My suggestion here is to take that typographic composition with the author and just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, then you've got the spine. I would definitely recommend designing a back cover. And then since this would obviously, I believe this would be a dust jacket for a hardcover book. So you got the back cover, then inside dust flaps. You know, those two little flaps that fold over the inside and the back cover. They're really cool. They're great and a lot of fun to design. Author's information, things like that. Maybe a bio, a little story on the book, whatever. Think about that. It's a really cool idea. You can show your whole book cover flat, laid out flat with both panels, front and back, the spine, and then the inside back cover. Dust flaps and inside front cover dust flap. Then what you can do is find a book. You can fold this thing up and put it around a book to mock it up so you can photograph it and make it look like an actual book. It's a really cool technique. Try it. Okay, technique. Okay, as far as your other, you know, I can't really decide where to go here. You have to decide. I hope you understand. I can't really critique all of these pieces because it's not fair to your classmates because they don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not giving other work to say, hey, can you critique this to see what will fit? All I can say is that pick something and I will be glad to critique it, okay? I will say that this is a good idea to show you understand production. These are great shots. I mean, they're all good. I would definitely recommend that some of these I would say probably the roots and vines would fit the best in your portfolio. This I would consider as an elective because it shows production, and this definitely I would fit in with your other piece with the other. No reason you can't fit that. Let me see. That is the trifold. Let's fit that right in. Go ahead. I know it's only 5 pieces, but since you already have the burpee piece, go ahead and put it in with that. So this design application piece will be collateral project, direct mail, and trifold. I think it'll fit together really nicely. And then we can take a look at this and see how, if this is what you decide, if you want to put that in there, then we'll take a look at that, and we'll decide how we're going to create more consistency between this piece and this mailer. Okay, so on to the process book. You wouldn't include, you know, it's a given that the image search is an integral part of any project. So you wouldn't include your images that you were considering because everybody knows, every designer who looks at this is going to know that you had a very fairly complex image search. Okay, so we don't have to prove that. Okay, this is what we're after right here, the sketches. This is what we're after. 3 pages of sketches is fantastic. Great job. Okay, the final ads themselves, you showed them all together. We got some inconsistency. Typically what you want to do in an ad campaign is place the logo in the same spot in every ad, and then place the contact information and the call to action in somewhat of a similar spot. But what I would suggest is leaving the classic red up top. Or, you know, I mean, this is okay, but this is definitely inconsistent. That should be classic red up top there, because this is the only one where you show classic red on the bottom and the logo on the top. Let's keep the classic red on top, logo on the bottom. This piece right here, I would move the headline up a little bit, and then right here, let me show you something. Right here, I would move that headline up just a little bit, and then right where her eyes start, these ads all need a call to action. Oh, wait a second, I see one. Hold on 1 second. Okay, you do have a call to action right down there at the bottom. I think that's not a good place to put it. It could get missed. I would leave the bottom. Let's do this. Let's reduce the bottom down to a logo. All right, since this piece is left heavy because of the image, You'll take that Estee Lauder, put it down there in the corner as a logo. Then you can take that call to action and just type it up right there. I've typeset it right there, so that it looks more like an ad. This is going to be a really tough piece because it's such a difficult image to work with. There's not really much negative space we can use to place that call to action, so think about that. And then this one, quite often it's a really interesting technique to offset an image. As we can see here, this is offset. She's not center. She's off to the, and it just makes so much more interesting view for viewing. I'm thinking we do the same thing here. Let's move her over. Let's move her over to the side. That way we can format the same headline and then logo in the corner and then call to action over there where it's not encroaching on her face in here. Okay, excellent. And then that's what I have. Okay, great job. Okay, excellent. Any questions at all, comments or anything? I know you'll be having to add that fifth piece. So let me know what you think about these pieces, what you're going to use. Now, keep in mind, you can slip two of these in here. For example, that roots and vines, you may consider using that also as an elective, because I think your electives I think your work is really strong. We'll get there. Don't fret. Let's fill in that last piece here. Decide what you want to put in here. I'll critique that. We'll get this together, these 5 pieces together, and then we can move forward. Any questions, comments, or concerns whatsoever, please give me a holler. Okay, thank you, Dorada. Good job.